Good afternoon, dear students. Last week we have tackled with comments and we have said it is a type of sentences that can be what? That it is characterized by not having a subject. It is a request, it is an order, so it doesn't have a subject. It starts with the base form as we have said before. And the most common type of command or the imperative is that it doesn't consist or it doesn't contain a subject. For example, when I say, for example, be quiet, drink, sit down, go out, and something like that, that's starting with the base form. We have another type of commands, of imperatives, which have what? Or which has a subject in the same sentence, in the same order, in the same request. We have what? We have that that subject. So we have commands with a subject. It is implied in the meaning of a of a command that the omitted subject of the imperative verb is the second person pronoun you. يعني when I say, for example, write down, this means that there is a subject, there is an implied subject, which means the listener, the addressee, which is what? You. This is confirmed by the occurrence of you as subject of a following tag question. يعني when I say, in order, this is an evidence that the implied subject of the command is you, not other than or not other pronoun. For example, the tag question. يعني when you have, for example, when I give you a command without a subject, starting with the base form, say, for example, be quiet, and I ask you to provide a tag question. I ask you to provide a tag question. Concerning the tag question, you are in need for what? You are in need for an operator plus a pronoun. So the operator is will and the pronoun is you, which is the implied subject. Again, there is another evidence concerning the implied subject is you, not other than one, not other than a pronoun, which is the occurrence of yourself as a reflexive pronoun and no other reflexive pronoun as objects. I say behave yourself. I cannot say behave himself or behave herself. So these are two evidences, or these are two evidences that say or adopt, or their practical evidences that the implied subject is you, not other pronoun. This is what concerns the command without a subject. But, however, a type of command in which the subject is you is retained, differing from the subject of a finite verb in always carrying citrus. Finite verb, when I say, for example, you are clever. هذا you is what? Is a finite verb, is a part or a subject in a finite verb phrase. It is different from this you. You be quiet. You see, there is no agreement, there is no concord between this subject and its verb. So, again, it is an evidence that this you is not a part of the sentence, and it doesn't relate to what to this finite verb phrase. Actually, this is not finite verb phrase. You mind your own business and leave this to me. So, these commands are usually admonitory in tone, and frequently, what do they express? Strong irritation. Please pay more attention for this one. If you have a subject or a command with a subject, with the subject you. Please pay attention. If you have such a command with a subject you in particular, means they express strong irritation. As such, they cannot naturally be combined with markers of politeness. إذا تذكرون إحنا when you say for example say be quiet, be quiet. هسه من الأدرسي you be quiet. لكن من هذه طبعا ال be quiet the subject is not present, it is absent completely. So أقول لك be quiet please, kindly be quiet. لكن if you have the second person addressee here, you be quiet, it is impossible or ungrammatical to have please, kindly, would you mind. So I cannot add any politeness markers in such kind of comments. Which kind? The comments with a subject, you. So why this sentence is ungrammatical? Please you be quiet. Why this is ungrammatical? Because I cannot use politeness marker in such type of comments. صحح لي إياها. يا أما تقدر تقول please وتحذف اليو وتقول be quiet, or لا تحذف ال please you be quiet. They may be used however in another way to single out by pointing. To single out حتى what نحدد. To pick out, to point out. By pointing to or more distinct addresses. يعني you come here, you come here. Jack and you go over there, Mary. هسه هذه again this is another function for comments with a subject اللي هو what the first function اللي هي to express strong irritations or irritation, sorry. Another function to single out by pointing to a more distinct addresses. This is what concerns the second person, you. Again, I can have the third person as subject is also possible. Somebody open this door. Somebody open this door. Again, I cannot judge that this somebody is apart from a normal sentence starting with the subject followed by the verb phrase. وطبعا لازم أحد conquered ولازم إذا singular I should have a third person singular. You see يعني حافظت على الوات على البيس فورم. حافظنا هنا على البيس فورم. Somebody open this door. يعني كأنه الآن for example إحنا بالقاعة مالتنا إن شاء الله نرجع للقاعة. إحنا بالقاعة so somebody open this door. هنا ما حددت. You see, but I address somebody or someone from the students. Somebody third person. Now not addressee ولا first person اللي هي I or will be. Again, we have everybody shut their eyes. Everybody, for example, close your books. For example, when I say everybody close the books or close the books. Now I address you all, but as what? As third person singular. Jack and Susan stand over there. Now Jack and Susan, what? I address them. يعني كأنهم قدامي. Say Jack and Susan stand over there. هذه is what? An order for Jack and Susan. It is easy to confuse. طبعا هسه راح يقولون there is some sort of confusion between such type of comments with a subject and what? And the vocative. How we can differentiate between them. With a vocative noun, please pay more attention for this one. With a vocative noun phrase, whereas the subject always precedes the verb, the vocative, as we saw earlier, is an element that can occur in final, medial, and initial. concerning the command, you have to, you must have what? Have the subject at the beginning before the verb, before the base form of the verb. لكن بالvocative, no. You have the option, you have the freedom to put it the addressee initially, medially, or finally. This is one difference. Another difference is that the vocative, when initially placed, has a separate tone unit, typically full rise. This is very important. When it is initially, it has a full rise tone. The subject merely receives ordinary word stress. لكن concerning the comments لا ما ياخذ أي tone unit، ما ياخذ full rise ولا rise full ولا أي شيء، راح ياخذ ordinary word stress. These are some examples concerning the differentiation or the distinction between vocative and subject. قلنا the first difference is that the vocative can be medially, initially, finally in the sentence. ما حيغير بالجملة تماما. Again, in contrast to the comments with subject, in which I have the subject before the base form of the verb. Again, if the vocative initially, it has what? It has full rise. هنا تشوفون Mary. هنا عندي هذه الكما please. Mary هذه عندي الكما. تشوفون هذه الفول رايز تون. Full rise tone unit وكما play on my side. هذه vocative. هنا سويناها بعدين play on my side كما Mary. كأنه هذه تغيرت from the initial position to the final position. If it is a subject in a command, Mary without any full rise without any tone unit فقط هذه ordinary tone play on my side. ما يصير بغير position, it is only the initial position. The distinctness of vocative and imperative subject is confounded by the possibility of their occurrence. We say John, you listen to me. هنا John وهنا you. You see هذا الvocative وهذه السبجect with or the command with subjects. Clear? كنا نسوي أحمد you listen to me. علي you listen to me. تشوفون it is with tone units. This is what concerns the subject or the command with subject. Sometimes I say, let us go, let me read, let me think, for example. So we are going to deal with another type of command with let. First person imperatives. طبعا هذا يشرحوا له first person imperative. Command with let means first person imperative. Can be found by preposing the verb let followed by a subject. طبعا هذا السبجect بالobjective case. بالobjective case هي first person يعني الI والوي. هذا الI والوي بالsubjective. بالobjective راح يصير me and ours. You see? Let us all work hard. Let's. Let me have a look. It is again, this is what let, followed by the objective form of we and the complementation of the verb of the sentence. Let, followed by the first person, imperatively here the objective form of what? Of I. Followed by what? For base form of the verb. The same applies to third person subject and let each man decide for himself. Let هذا عندي let وهذا عندي subject هذا عندي البيس form اللي هي the characteristic form or the characteristic of the major characteristics of imperative. If anyone shrinks from this action, let him. Him, it is the third person. Let him speak now. Yeah. does it mean by negative comments? أنا أريد أنفي هذه comments by the way. How I can negate these comments? Negative comments. To negate second and third person imperative, one simply adds an initial don't replacing assertive by an assertive form where necessary, without any complexity or difficulty. Say, open some windows, don't open any. You open the door, don't you open the door. فقط inserting or putting don't before وكل شيء assertive راح يصير non-assertive. Someone open the door, don't anyone open the door. هذه concerning the second and third. Concerning the first person imperative on the other hand have two possibilities. When I have let us or let's open the door, أقدر أقول let's not open the door، هذه الفورمال، وأكل informal don't let us open the door. And the second of these is available for third person imperatives. إنه don't let anyone، هذه دائما إذا عندي third person لازم أخلي don't before the what's of let comments. Persuasive imperative. Persuasive means how to emphasize the imperatives. A persuasive or insistence imperatives is created by the addition of do again with a nuclear tone before the main verb. See هذا المين verb، هي المفروض الجملة have some more sherry، أريد أسوي more emphatic more insistence. Do have some money, some more sherry. Do let's go to theater. This note is not included. This note is not included. Leave it. Yeah. We have this note on page 203. عندي فقط البي. B is very important before indulging or discussing exclamation. Do, don't, and let's are used in isolation as elliptical commands. Shall I open the door? Yes, do. No, don't. طبعا yes, do open the door or open the door. No, don't open the door. Shall we watch the game? Yes, let us. يعني they are the elliptic or ellipses, or they are what can be used as a pronoun for the whole predicates.